Hi friends, welcome back. Let's go over the daily news together. So first, New York Community Bank, they are still struggling. I was looking at the stock here, actually opened up and just went straight down. So it was hitting around the 370 mark, something like that. And that's $3, not 370. This has been a wild ride, and they kind of rebounded a bit midday. They announced a new CEO, and they're still though down 60% in the last month. If you've been following the story and you saw my video yesterday, we talked about this, how Moody's had downgraded it to junk. The headlines now is New York Community Bank seeks to reassure investors after Moody's downgrade. And they essentially have a new CEO. His name is Alessandro Danello, but he's been with them a while. They just promoted him. And listen to the description of this here. U.S. regional lender New York Community Bank Corp has sought to reassure investors that it is still taking new deposits. So they are happy to take your money. They're still taking new deposits after a week in which the share price has more than halved, that it was downgraded to junk. And you look at more details of what's going on here. This is him. He's been this a long time. They're talking about, I guess, back in the 90s, he got in this stuff, banking, that is. So he knows what's up with this with this world. And he was saying that he's going to be laser focused on reducing its exposure to commercial real estate. That's in terms of the NYCB. So that's where you don't want to be exposed, right? Commercial real estate. Now, the interesting thing, though, is here's more quotes of it. He says, the challenge today is not easy, but this company has a strong foundation, strong liquidity, and a strong deposit base, which gives me confidence for our path forward. And then he went on to tell people the bank is open to selling, quote, non-core assets. So you guys can decide what you think that means, non-core assets, but he didn't say exactly what that's going to be. It's interesting because I was looking at more of this stuff, and they were saying here their total deposits are at 83 billion. So it's a little bit more than last year. And then it also said, which I didn't know this, it says NYCB has had to offer premium rates in order to keep deposits flowing, right? So they were giving good returns for some people. They continued to pay as much as 5.5% annual interest on short-term certificates of deposits, that's CDs, while other banks have pared back their rates. So they were offering higher rates than other banks. Plus, they have heavy exposure to commercial real estate. So we'll see if they can recover. But that's the news. I think that's the biggest story I go on the markets right now. But there are other things I want to talk about with you as well. The markets overall are up, but honestly, I think the markets aren't healthy, mostly because the moves are just going crazy, either double digit to the upside or double digit to the downside. You'll see it all the time. Like, for example, Snapchat. It's down like 35% in a day, and it's like that's nuts, right? The stock shouldn't move this much. I've showed you guys this chart before, but I'm going to show it to you again if you haven't seen it. So if you remember Meta, so that's the Zuckerberg company, right? Slash Facebook. It was a headline: Meta's 197 billion surge is the biggest in stock market history. Someone in the comments asked me, to talk about this more. The basic reason why I show this, and if you can see the chart here, it says the top 10 biggest single day market cap gains, meaning that are people are putting so much money in these things on a single day, like the companies will jump up in market cap like crazy amounts, right? The most in history was February 2nd, 2024, and the top 10 moves have all been the last couple of years. So our markets appear to be really juiced. I mean, I can see it in the numbers here. And moreover, we just keep moving in these kind of ways. So I see this as unhealthy. Like, for example, I'm just looking at here. This is just the movers of the day. Enphase is up 13%. GE Technology is up 11%, right? These kind of companies moving so quickly. Ford is up 5% in a day. Now, yes, I know Ford is not how can I say, not as sexy as other companies, but it's still a major company. And then, ones at the downside, you have like Kroger, Balls Moving, and Marathon. And it seems like, this stuff is quite a bit. I guess the big one today, which is surprising, was the VF Corp. That's the ones who they do North Face and other clothing things. So I'm bringing these things up because, I do YouTube every single day. And I always want to make it really clear that the market is huge. There's a lot of stocks to talk about, a lot of news to talk about, stuff like that. But sort of how the YouTube game is played. If you don't talk about the hot stocks, if you don't talk about the Dogecoin, right? You don't have that popular channel. It is what it is. So I guess I should be doing dog coins and Dogecoins every day. So yes, I know it's called Dogecoin, but I like to call it Dogcoin because there is a dog on the coin. But I do want to talk about other news because I think it's important. And I want you guys to also just be well informed and understand like kind of why we're talking about all this stuff together. Is it'll help your sense of business, of like where opportunities are not, and also too to understand the markets a lot better and kind of get our whole economic system. I think a lot of people out there, maybe understand a few things but not everything, and also too things are changing every day. So every day I get up and I go over the news with you all and talk about through these things, because the world is really confusing right now, to be honest, because it's moving so quickly and so rapidly, which are two different things. But anyway, take a look at this. This was an interesting headline as well. It says America's most expensive home for sale hits the market for $295 million. So if you want to benchmark yourself to like, how do you rate compared to the richest people in the world? Evidently, I guess 300 million is the highest you could sell a home at this moment right now. So this particular one is in Naples, Florida. It says 9 acres, and this is what it looks like, just in case you're curious. And we'll see if indeed it can sell for that much. I keep seeing news of various luxury homes around the world that have just plummeted in price. The reason why I bring this up is because money has been coming out, right? And we're kind of seeing this in various asset classes. So again, this is sort of pretty frank, it's a nice property. It's basically a hotel at this point when you get to this big. And they got a real nice beachfront over there. The other stocks that have been moving today has actually been Uber. And this is an interesting one because who knows, maybe this will be our recessionary stock going forward. Because essentially, people are losing their jobs at the big tech companies, losing their jobs in the banking industry, and all driving for Uber. And perhaps with work from home, people will no longer have a need to, own a car and just do this kind of thing, right? That's been our situation. We just don't need to drive. We have public transit here in Busan, but occasionally we'll call a car and they'll just come pick us up and we head on out. So I don't think this business model is going to disappear anytime soon. We're still going to have deliveries, ride sharing, and I guess they've been getting involved with ads and other things as well. I was looking at the stock of Uber's been doing really well this year. And then Lyft really took a dive. So I'm not in the USA right now, so you guys can let me know if Lyft is still in business in your neck of the woods, if it's dominated by Uber, or you can do both. Usually, for me personally, I have both apps when I go, and you just check the price of either one because it's like literally the same service. But it all depends on sort of what incentives the companies are giving. Moreover, talking about all the stocks going on the market here, Alibaba. I guess they're still trying to shore up fear over Chinese stocks, and this is kind of one of the meme stocks. I don't talk about this one that much. I don't know why it was such a meme stock. I just don't. It was weird. So many channels were talking about it, and the one thing I want to mention with something like this, be it Alibaba, be it your Palantir or Tesla or whatever, you have no idea when someone is writing, some sort of blog post on Tesla, whether or not that's a legitimate post, meaning like who's writing said post, who's putting stuff out there. Is it even reliable at all? Is it factual at all, right? Because anyone can write anything they want on Reddit. And it's kind of weird. We live in a world these days where like people are more willing to trust some anonymous, faceless person who doesn't give the real name or even know what this person looks like. And you're like, oh yes, this person's just talking the truth. And it's like, wait, what? So, I try my best to just give you honest opinion on this stuff because, like I said, the world is really crazy out there. The reason why I mentioned that is that, if you look at some of these headlines here, this was just happening just 54 minutes ago, so just recently. Ex-Goldman Sachs analyst thought he could, quote, talk his way out of insider trading arrest. And this is something that we talked about a couple of days ago. Dude, it was a lot of money. I can't remember what it was. I will just say 100 million or something like that. I don't remember exactly, but so essentially he denied representation and he thought he could talk his way out of it, but prosecutors disagree. They're going to try to get him. So we'll see. I want to go back to the Alibaba thing, and the reason I'm putting it together with the Goldman Sachs is there's an issue right now in China to where people don't feel confident in all of what's going on over there. So my opinion, and I have no proof, I'm telling you, I just have no proof. I'll tell you if I have proof, and I'll tell you when I don't have proof. But my opinion, I think one of the things that might be going on right now is people are pulling their money out of, and this would be like, say, Chinese people are pulling their money out of the Chinese markets and throwing it into the U.S. markets. And maybe that's why we're seeing these sort of crazy moves, because it is very interesting how it seems to be inverse daily. They announced over in China that they have a new regulator So this guy, I guess his name is Wu, it should be Ching. And it's funny, the picture that they released of him is like, he looks like a mob boss. So, his nickname is, get this, it is the broker butcher. It says Wu Ching, a banking and regulation a veteran who earned the reputation as the broker butcher. Can't make this stuff up. Broker butcher. When he led a crackdown on traders in the mid-2000s, is replacing Yi Huiman as chairman and party chief of the China Securities Regulatory Commission. So they're trying to cut down on corruption. They're also, this has been a big concern for, say, companies like an Alibaba or whatever, tech companies in China, about who has control of said companies. One of the things that's happened, because I've talked about the story off and on, but the basic gist of what is that the U.S. market said, hey, you Chinese stocks, if you're going to be on our markets, you're going to give us, transparent accounting, right? You're going to show us your numbers, etc. And then the thing is, what happens is that the big accounting firms then go in and do supposedly independent audits. And I say supposedly because oftentimes there'll be like U.S. or foreign branches, and then there'll be the local branches, right? So I'm sure you understand that these multinational companies have branches all over the world, and they're run differently. There's no other way to put it. Now, I'm not saying that, like, how can I say? What's the best way to put it? At any moment, the Chinese Communist Party can come in and just like stop meetings. They can sit in on meetings, this kind of stuff. So you just don't know. You just don't know. Even though, yes, they're independent and these are international companies that are supposed to come in and independently audit these things, you just don't know. It's hard. That's why the Chinese people like put more money into real estate in the past. Now there was a time when people start speculating into Chinese stuff, etc. Because again, it's like, it's just the Chinese people, guys, are the same as, say, us here, where you're just like reading crap on Reddit and stuff like that, and whatever hedge fund is trying to prop up stuff. This is what our markets are. So that's why I brought up the Goldman Sachs insider trading thing. So you have to have a sense of humor about this world and understand sort of how it works, and also understand there's a lot of money in these things. I'll give you a simple example. So this is something that I mentioned quite a bit on the channel as well. Saudi Arabia and weapons is big money. And China's trying to get a piece of that pie also. So, China, they're in this realm to where they want to have more, how can I say, more liquidity in their markets. I wouldn't necessarily say freedom in their markets, but they just want more money. How can you get more money and also maintain control? Also, too, we're talking about the transparency situation. If your big tech companies start growing, how can you start taking your slice if you're a politician or whatever, right? How can you get your slice? And then how can you erase said paper trail, right? So that's what this stuff is all about. It's complicated issues, and again, it's all about money, of course. So people do care about this stuff, but evidently, I guess the China got a contract with the Saudis. It wasn't that much. Let me read the description. It's funny because I make a joke when it says it wasn't that much. It says here, small advances. But when it comes to defense, China has made only small advances. Saudi Arabia signed $4 billion of new arms deal in China in 2022, including drones, armed drones, ballistic missiles, and anti-drone laser-based systems. So again, they consider that small at $4 billion. I mean, because money is when you get to this kind of stuff, like, it's not that much compared to what you're trying to go for. So just give you a ballpark. Back in 2017, Trump did a deal with the Saudis. So that was over 10 years for $350 billion. So that's what, $35 billion a year. Biden's made deals with the Saudis. Obama made deals with the Saudis. Bush made deals with the Saudis. So I don't think that's only one particular party or one country. Even the Koreans, where I'm at, they're trying to get weapons deals with the Saudis as well. So this is the kind of stuff that I'm looking at. I just want to show you guys lots of different things today. Sometimes I feel like talking about more than one thing. But my personal opinion, though, is that this New York Community Bank thing is a story that we want to keep following, because the questions are, how systemic is this, or is it isolated? And I think the commercial real estate thing is a real problem in the USA, also a real problem in China, but China is bigger even. And every time we get news out of this thing, like I always say, guys, regarding China, no news does not mean good news. Just no news means that we haven't heard of yet another bankruptcy. So we're going to see how much this continues. Overall, though, just stick to your investing plan, stick to your game plan. I always say the same thing over and over again, though, is that don't expect rosy skies to, be happening forever. So, just always set stuff aside for a rainy day, and meaning that if you overextend yourself all of the time, over leverage yourself all the time, this is where these kind of situations come up with. So meaning the banking situation, etc. So anyway, thanks again for your time, everyone, and I'll catch you next video.